Mistake number 2. Choosing your attorney for the wrong reasons. Attorneys can be the wrong pick for your case for many reasons. Because they are inexperienced, they have personal issues that are a distraction to their practice, or they are simply not willing to put in the work that it takes to get the job done right. I have listed several reasons below to consider before hiring your attorney. Because they handled your divorce. There is no rule that says attorneys can only handle one type of case. Many attorneys practice in various areas and excel in them all. My warning here is that you should not automatically think that because you had an attorney who did a great job on your personal injury case or divorce, he or she would automatically do a great job on your criminal case. Feel free to use the same attorney if you feel comfortable with him or her, but do your homework first. Because they're famous. Every city has a few criminal defense attorneys who are household names. They might have earned it through hard work. They might be an efficient marketer. They might have had that one famous case, or they might just be old as dirt. The hope is that this type of attorney can bring a firestorm of media attention to your case and leverage that pressure to get a good result. Unfortunately, many clients of famous attorneys have learned that these types of attorneys are only eager to work the cases that place them in the spotlight, and that the attorneys often neglect the not-so-famous cases. Even worse, sometimes these attorneys are eager to maintain the impression that they strike gold on every case, and they begin to take only winners. This, in turn, leads to their becoming soft and untested. Some of the best non-famous attorneys take the same advice they give their clients. They stay under the radar and keep their mouths shut. You've never heard about their biggest victories because the client would like for it to remain private. Famous attorneys can be awesome, awful, or ho-hum average, just like not-so-famous attorneys. There is no direct relationship between their recognition in the community and their skill level. Rely on former clients rather than former cameras because they're inexpensive. Just like blue jeans, cars, and everything else, there isn't always a direct connection between cost and quality. First, focus on quality, and then you can worry about price. So then, how do you determine quality? The best indicator of future performance is past performance. If you have a friend who has used a criminal defense attorney in the past, that's a great place to start. The problem with seeking testimonials is that you might not want to tell other people that you have criminal charges, and you might not have any friends who will admit that they did either. In that case, the next best thing is to look online at client reviews of attorneys' past clients. There are a number of rating sites like avvo.com that rate lawyers. Pay attention not only to the attorney rating, but also to client reviews. If the attorney isn't soliciting client reviews, it might be because they would not be favorable. The attorney doesn't have to have 1,000 client ratings, but you want to see a consistent track record of highly satisfied clients. You can also look at accolades and designations that have been awarded by industry organizations. Not all of these awards are created equal. Some of these are acknowledgments of excellence by other attorneys or clients, while others are nothing more than pay-to-play organizations. Pay particular attention to attorneys who are certified specialists in the area for which you need them. For example, if your attorney is a certified criminal trial specialist, this means that he or she meets some of the highest requirements in experience, ethical representation, and performance. Now you can finally compare prices, but at least all of the attorneys you are now considering would be good selections. If you don't create a short list of qualified attorneys before looking at price alone, then you'll be comparing apples and oranges, or should we say, lemons. With regard to price, you know that you usually get what you pay for. Imagine that you haggled a desperate attorney down to an unusually low price. What does that tell you about his or her business? Even if that attorney honors the low price, he or she will probably exert the minimum effort to conclude the case. If one attorney says he will handle your case for $500 and the other $50, do you think that they will put in the same amount of work? Sure, since we live in a perfect world. What's more likely is that the attorney practices a high volume of cases and you will be sitting in the courtroom for several hours waiting for that attorney to finally get down to your petty case. I say petty not because it's petty to you, but because it's the least important case to that attorney, who will always think to himself, that's the case that I did for a reduced fee. I need to keep my higher paying clients happy before them. Before you get too upset at lawyers in general, remember that this is how every service industry operates. My point is that while you're bragging about the 10 hours you spent finding the cheapest attorney in town and haggling him or her down even lower, you don't realize that you're at the very bottom of that attorney's totem pole. Another possibility is that the attorney is pulling a bait and switch on you. While you think that you have settled up with the attorney, he or she is sticking a hand in your face every time you go back to court. Defending your constitutional rights? That costs extra. Oh, did you actually want to fight the charges? Did you want to see the discovery in the case? Did you want me to meet with your witnesses? Pay me more money. Some of these attorneys will say, pay me this much now, but if you don't give me the rest later, then I'm off the case. These attorneys are almost hoping that you don't come up with the rest of the money so that they can keep your hefty initial payment and they don't even have to lift a finger to kick your case to the curb. Soon, you'll realize that you should have hired a more ethical attorney who is upfront and honest about the total cost of representation. While there is no direct relationship between how much a defendant spends and how much justice is received, saving money on an attorney can end up being quite costly. Very few things in life should be handled by the lowest bidder, and your freedom certainly isn't one of them.